Welcome students. In this video, we are going to discuss the practical on heat transfer in forced convection. Aim of the experiment: to determine average surface heat transfer coefficient for a pipe losing heat by forced convection to the air flowing through it. Theory: convection is the energy transfer between the surface and adjacent fluid. In the forced convection process, the fluid is circulated with the help of external agent like pump or blower. The heat transfer coefficient is very important to determine for calculating the heat transfer rate in convection. This experiment deals with the experimental determination of this coefficient. In forced convection, the velocity gradient is more effective than density gradient. The forced convection heat transfer occurs in heat exchangers like automobile radiator, condensers, coolers, etc. Description and specification of the apparatus. The apparatus consists of blower unit fitted with test pipe. The test section is surrounded by nichrome band heater. 6 thermocouples are embedded on the test section and 2 thermocouples are placed in the airstream at the entrance and exit of the test section to measure air temperature. The test pipe is connected to the delivery side of blower along with the orifice to measure the flow of air through the pipe. Input to the heater is given through the dimmer stat and is measured by ammeter. It is also noted that only a part of total heat supplied is utilized in heating the air. A temperature indicator with cold junction compensation is provided to measure the temperature in the pipe wall in the test section. Specifications: pipe diameter is 43 mm, inner diameter of pipe is 37 mm, length of test section is 50 cm, blower motor 1 horsepower, orifice diameter 14 mm, dimmer stat 0 to 2 ampere and 2 to 260 volt. Temperature indicator range is 0 to 300 degrees Celsius. Voltmeter is in between 0 to 100 to 200 volt and ammeter is 0 to 2 ampere. Nichrome wire heater wound on the test pipe. Procedure: start and adjust the flow by means of a valve to some desired difference in the manometer level. Start the heating of the test section with the help of dimmer stat and adjust the desired heat input by means of voltmeter and ammeter. Take the reading of all the thermocouples at an interval of 10 minutes until the steady state is reached. Wait for steady state. Take the readings of all the thermocouples at steady state. Note down the heater input. Precautions: keep the dimmer stat to 0 position before switching on the power supply. Increase the voltage gradually. Do not stop the blower between testing periods. Do not disturb the thermocouple while testing. Operate selector switch of the temperature gently. Do not exceed 200 watt.
This is the setup for forced convection. So to determine heat transfer coefficient under the forced convection, the first important thing is how to start the setup. The setup and already the other things are all of you will know. So already we coupled main switch to our switch and we already on that switch. Then you have to switch on main switch. Make sure that your dimmer must be in 0 position. Now what is the steady state basically? Steady state means you have to give some voltage and current inside that setup. To reach the steady state position means temperature does not change with respect to time. So what we are going to do? We are slowly increasing the dimmer and with certain amount of voltage and current we will be set initially. So your input must be same or it will be constant. Then we will wait for some hours. Okay. Actually, there is no range for this setting the voltage and current. You can set in between 50 to 60 or 40 to 70, like that, and then you have to wait to reach the steady state, and then after that we will take down the readings. While you have taken the readings, you have to on the blower switch. So for force convection, make sure you should on blower switch while you have taken the readings. Okay, now this is the setup for force convection. Okay, so force convection apparatus. So basically, here in this particular setup, we can find the heat transfer coefficient for that air by the influence of the forcefully air. So now you can see the blower which is to be coupled. Okay, so that blower is continuously blowing the air. You can see at the centrally the specimen which is to be coupled at the center. The blower inlet air is coming and blower outlet air is going out from that section. Rest of the thing that is again same. Main switch, this switch is for blower. When we take the reading, then we on the blower. Thermostat, voltmeter, ammeter and temperature indicator. So remember, there are T1 to T6. 6 thermocouples are mounted on that specimen, and one is T7 which is air inlet temperature, and one is T8 which is air outlet temperature. On that side you can see the manometer, U-tube manometer, to record to head across that water. You can see on that side. Okay, so U-tube manometer which is to be coupled to find the velocity of that particular air. Okay, now we will take the readings one by one. So for that reading, first of all we on the blower switch. Now we will take the voltage and current. So first of all note down the voltage and current. Then T1 temperature.
Observation table. T1 temperature is 98 degrees Celsius, T2 temperature is 104 degrees Celsius, T3 temperature 105 degrees Celsius, T4 temperature is 104 degrees Celsius, T5 temperature is 96 degrees Celsius, and T6 temperature is 115 degrees Celsius. Air inlet temperature is 65 degrees Celsius and air outlet temperature is 80 degrees Celsius. Voltage 75 volt and current reading is 0.84 ampere. Manometric head is 70 mm. Calculations. In this practical, we are going to find out the practical heat transfer coefficient and theoretical heat transfer coefficient. So first we are going to calculate the practical heat transfer coefficient. To calculate the practical heat transfer coefficient, we required the equilibrium condition, means heat gained by the air is equals to heat lost by the rod. With the help of this equation, we can find out the practical heat transfer coefficient. But to calculate that practical heat transfer coefficient, we require mass of air. So that mass of air we can calculate with the help of discharge and density of air. So to calculate the discharge, again we are using the orifice meter. But while calculating the discharge, we required the head of air. So the head of air we can calculate with the help of manometric reading. But the properties which we are going to use to calculate the head of air and the mass of air, we required the properties of air. So all those properties we get at mean film temperature. So we are going to calculate the mean film temperature first. Hence the mean film temperature is equals to 88.08 degrees Celsius. A1 is 1.075 into 10 raised to minus 3 meter square. Area of orifice is 1.539 into 10 raised to minus 4 meter square. Properties of air at mean film temperature are density of air is equal to 0.9718 kg per meter cube. Thermal conductivity of the air is 0.03024 watt per meter Kelvin. Kinematic viscosity of the air at mean film temperature is 2.201 into 10 raised to minus 5 meter square per second. Prandtl number is 0.7132. Specific heat of the air at mean film temperature is 1007 joule per kg Kelvin. From the air property and manometric reading, we can calculate the head of air. Hence, head of air is equals to 72.031 meter. With the help of that head of air value, we can calculate the discharge from orifice equation. So Q is equals to 3.807 into 10 raised to minus 3 meter cube per second. As per the energy balance, heat gain by air is equal to heat loss by the rod. Hence, we can calculate the heat transfer coefficient with the help of energy balance formula. But to calculate that heat transfer coefficient, we required mass of air. Hence, the mass of air is equals to discharge multiplied by density of air, and the value is 3.6997 into 10 raised to minus 3 kg per second. So once we get the mass of air, we can calculate the heat transfer coefficient. Hence, the heat transfer coefficient by practical approach is 30.84 watt per meter square Kelvin. Next calculations are belongs to the theoretical heat transfer coefficient. In this case, we are going to calculate the H theoretical. But to calculate that H theoretical, we require the Nusselt numbers value. So the Nusselt number we can calculate with the help of correlation of Nusselt number, in which we are going to use the Reynolds and Prandtl number. Prandtl number we get from the properties of air, and to calculate the Reynolds number we required the velocity of air. So we can calculate that velocity of air with the help of discharge value. Hence, we are going to calculate the velocity first, and the value of velocity of air is 3.5414 meter per second. Once we get the velocity of air, we can calculate the Reynolds number, and the value of Reynolds number is 5953.277. Once we get the Reynolds number, we are going to put the Reynolds number value and Prandtl number value in Nusselt numbers correlation. So after putting this value in Nusselt number, we get Nusselt number is equal to 21.0289. So from the Nusselt number, we can calculate the theoretical heat transfer coefficient, and hence the theoretical heat transfer coefficient value from the Nusselt number is equal to 17.18 watt per meter square Kelvin. Result: practical heat transfer coefficient is 30.84 watt per meter square Kelvin and theoretical heat transfer coefficient is 17.18 watt per meter square Kelvin. Thank you.